Hey, we're live right here on the Fishbowl Radio Network. You're on the Mission. That's right, the Mission Radio Show. We come on every Saturday from 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here in the gray stream. And today we got a live show, y'all. We got a live show. Of course, D Nice is not here yet. But if you're trying to get in, you can't get in. Tell your friend, hey, www.fbrn.us, and you got to go to the Gray Bowl. That's how you get us. Or you can do this. You can actually download the TuneIn Radio app. TuneIn Radio app. And you got to search for FBRN. All right? And then go to the Gray Bowl. Okay? You can do it that way. So then you can listen to it on your cell phone. So if you have a friend that's not listening, man, shame on them. Tell them to get on the mission because we got a hot show today. We're talking about holiday cooking. With the chef is in the building, Miss Eboni Dionne. How you doing, girl?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Hey, we're doing all right.
I'm doing fabulous.
So happy to have you here.
I am more than ecstatic to be here today.
This lady right here, we've been talking all week about things that we're going to talk about and discuss as far as menus are concerned. And she's currently in business doing big things over the weekend. And, I'm telling you, she's all about the health cooking. You know what I'm saying? Healthy cooking. Let me say it like that. How about that? Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. I just want to be politically correct.
Oh, well, my politically correctness is... it can only go sometimes you just got to tell it how TIE is. So.
There it is. You know what? I really like Eboni because the thing of the chef, Eboni. Let me put that chef in.
Yeah, put that handle on it.
Yeah. I got to do it. I got to do you some justice on that. She actually is highly educated, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
A little bit. Tell us about the little bit.
I am a native of Fort Worth, and I have a bachelor's degree in biology from Langston University. Hey, HBCU. Shout out to LU in Langston, Oklahoma. I also have a master's in public health from UNT Health Science Center. I'm a certified holistic health coach. I'm board certified through the American Association of Drugless Practitioners. And then I'm also a chef, self-taught chef. Been cooking since I was 6. Been working on that scrambled egg game since I was 6 years old. So
wow,
can't beat me on that.
You know what? That's my game.
That's your game.
That's my game. Back when I ate meat, I was a beast.
You was a beast on the scrambled eggs. Okay, well,
yeah, I was a beast.
I got to make some of these vegan eggs as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they're made by Follow Your Heart. So they're actually soy free, tofu free. I don't do tofu or soy, so they don't have any soy in it. They're pretty good.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna have to take you up on that. She has a customer here. Everybody know what I'm all about. I'm all about that V, baby. You know what I'm saying? That V game. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So I specialize in vegan and vegetarian soul food.
Ooh.
I know it sounds like an oxymoron, right? Every time I say it, people are like, what? Do they really live in the same house? But if you see me, you know that it actually works because I'm a Southern girl. So the food, first of all and foremost, must taste good. And I've had every part of the pig except for the oink.
Oink.
Oink, yeah, and the cow as well. Had every part except for the moo. But I realized that was not working for me. But when people say, oh, you shouldn't eat meat and it's not that good for you, I was like, I'm a Texan. I ain't giving up meat. What you talking about?
That's like everybody.
Right. But with time does do one thing. It brings about a change. And so unless you're going to move with it, it's going to move over you. So
That's right. Especially with everything that's shot up in the meat these days.
Right. So just educating myself on what I need to do for myself and my body, what worked best for me, is really what kind of merged the two art forms together. And I think I do pretty good. I got some of my hardcore carnivores are sold on what I do. So I don't just cook for vegans. I cook for everybody.
Wow. You know what? We're going to get deeper into that. We're going to actually get deeper into the holidays and all the cooked stuff and, and stuff that you can eat and make yourselves that's going to be healthy for you and your family. We're going to dig deep into that, so y'all keep it locked right here on the Mission Radio Show. We'll be right back after this J. Cobb song, Love Is All, right here on the Mission Radio Show on the Fishbowl Radio Network. Keep it locked. Yes, yes, yes. The Mission Radio Show. I'm your boy, the Funkster. I'm in the building. And I'm not by myself because I got a great chef, a beautiful chef in here. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. We got Miss Eboni. Well, Chef Eboni Dionne in the building. Man, I'm telling you right now, it's our pleasure to have you here.
I am ecstatic and thrilled.
Gracious. I love you. She got the I love you earrings on. I love me. Is that I love me?
I says I love me.
I love me.
So,
earrings.
right. I'm going to make sure when you look at me, you already know what mood I'm in today. And I'm loving myself. So if I'm loving myself, that means I love everybody else around me.
That's right. That's right. It starts first with you.
That's right.
Hey, you know what? And we just came through the domestic violence month last month, you know. And that was one of the biggest things that the ladies said, is that they didn't love themselves while going through the domestic violence part of it, you know, as far as relationships are concerned.
Exactly.
You know, so we're really happy to see sisters really rising.
Embracing.
Rising?
When the queens rise, the nations must follow.
They
so,
must follow.
I have to, if I want to see a better world, I have to be the change that I want to see. So I wear this not just for myself, but to inspire other people to start looking at themselves and not be afraid to love themselves, right?
That's cool. That's cool. And, you know, I'm going to play this into the food that you cook, because I think that if you eat better, you feel better.
Yes.
Is that correct? I mean,
oh, most definitely.
You know,
I would not be where I'm sitting today as a business owner if I hadn't changed my diet. So all the dreams and aspirations that I had, they were just kind of falling flat. You know, they had nowhere to go because my body and mind just couldn't seem to put the two thoughts together and to make them into action. And I always knew I wanted to be a business owner, be an entrepreneur, because that's just in my blood and in my family.
That's right.
And through my quest and mission of trying to figure out what I want to do with my life, I kind of stumbled back into doing this. So I went to school. Actually, originally I wanted to go to school for being a pre-med, being a doctor.
Wow.
So I'm really fascinated by the human body and how the human body works on a, like everything. You know how a little kid is like, well, how does that work? You know, how does that work? How does that work? So I've always, that's been me, is like the root cause, like always figuring out what's the root cause to sickness and illness. And it really started personally. My father had multiple sclerosis, and he was diagnosed when I was 6 months old. So my my perception, I guess to be the right word, of what life, and also being very aware of mortality and morbidity, the ability, you know, to what does life really mean, really in death. Those types of questions were really profound to me as a child. So that really kind of spurred me to want to study. You know, all my research papers in school were always about multiple sclerosis. And then as I got older and doing more research and studying, you know, the root cause, getting back to what the root cause is really spirit. You know, having those spiritual disorders. And then because if your spirit is in line, and then disease can't happen.
Wow.
So
that's big.
That was kind of things I kind of knew and observed with my father, but didn't really put the correlations together until I went through my own quest and journey of seeing how the two really correlate. So I'm really excited to be here because I've had to put it in practice with my life. Really? And
how so have you had to put that in practice in your own life?
I would say in 2011, was that 2011 when we were going to have the Super Bowl here? Was that 2000? I
believe it was with Pittsburgh and Green Bay.
Yeah, and then we had the ice storm. I ended up getting pneumonia. That's the only I remember, because it would happen at the same time. I ended up getting pneumonia, and during this time I was still eating a traditional SAD diet. You know what a SAD diet is, don't you?
No.
A SAD diet, that's the standard American diet.
Really?
Yes, it's sad.
It's sad.
It's just sad.
Pathetic.
It's pathetic. You know, it just makes you tear now. So that's the white diet, or bland brown diet: white flour, white sugar, red meats. You know, eating a very uncolorful plate. And it took me about 6 months to get over that pneumonia, and I only had it in one lobe of my lungs. And also during that time, I was had a lot of mental depression that I was going through. I think that's something we don't talk about in our community is mental health.
That's right.
So I was dealing with and battling a lot of depression and questioning myself and my connection with God and my purpose and my usefulness. And just even the ability to maintain hope was being tested as well during this time. So, you know, iron can only be iron unless it's forged in the fire.
That's right. That's right.
You know, and it takes multiple times. You don't just put the iron in there one time. You know, when a blacksmith is forging his weapon, you know, he has to keep sticking it in the fire.
That's
and
right.
He has to keep beating it.
That's right. That's right.
Stick it in the fire. You got to beat it some more.
Beat it some more.
You got to stick it back in that fire.
That's right. That's right.
And beat it some more. So through my forging period, you know, I had to really ask myself, what did I want it to be? You know, and to be that weapon, I had to continue to take, you know, going in that fire, because if not, I would not be any good as a weapon. I could be a showpiece, you know, they could just put it up, you know, and kind of mold it and sculpt it. But if you put it out in battle, it may not be any good. But
that's right.
I'm a warrior, so
hey, watch out.
I need to be out in battle. I need to be battle ready. So being willing to take on those, you know, wasn't always comfortable for me.
Right.
I've had a lot of, you know, crying and, you know, Oprah, you know, Oprah says those ugly crying moments. Yeah, some places where you didn't want anybody, where you don't want anybody to see you in the crying. You remember the Crying Game? Have you seen that movie, The Crying Game?
Yeah,
where when he realized, you know, so having one of those, you know, not necessarily how that happened, but just like, ugh. So.
We've all had that happen.
Right. So that was kind of my revelation of I need to do something different with my health, because going to the doctor, taking the antibiotics and taking all those medications, and I was already on other maintenance medications. I had and didn't even know that I had chronic acid reflux.
Wow.
Because I had normalized it throughout my entire life, and then until asking my mom, she's like, yeah, you used to projectile vomit when you were a baby. We had a hard time getting you formula. And then when I see a doctor when I'm 30, he was like, my throat was feeling like it was closed up. And he was like, oh, yeah, you have acid reflux. You probably had it for a long time. I was like, oh, you mean I'm not supposed, when I eat, my food's supposed to come up?
That's right.
I thought that was normal.
I
didn't, you know, because we can normalize disease. We can normalize a disease state of mind. So that's with a whole lot of things, that cognitive dissonance, you know, that we can place on a lot of things. So that kind of awakened me into realizing I needed to do other things. So I got a hair test, and that's also something I offer now. It told me I should eat a plant-based diet, and had other friends at the time that were vegetarian, and you know, getting some of their support. And I went and got a colonic, and I was still trying to eat meat with that, and that just is. And but when you see worms, you be like, you know, I'm gonna be for real, y'all, because y'all need to really know and understand what comes out of your body when you're eating this meat. And I saw these worms and parasites being flushed out of my body, and I was like, that's kind of nasty, y'all. Like, I don't live in a third world country. I shouldn't have this, you know. And also realizing that those parasites were actually contributing to my taste and my desire and my cravings for meat, because they were signaling for me to eat more meat because they wanted it. Like, they were like, feed me, feed me, feed me. So they would signal for me to eat those things. And now that I don't have it in my body, I have no taste or nor desire for it. So realizing sometimes what we eat is really cultural and not necessarily what's best for us. For me, physiologically, I don't produce enough stomach acids to break down a lot of protein. And that's where my problem was, is that the chronic issues I was having is because the foods I was eating was just not meant for my body.
I think most people that are suffering, especially from acid reflux, I think that's the case. You know, I know for me personally.
Right.
You know, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and I'll have, you know, threw up in my sleep. Right. You know, and it started getting black. You know, I'm like, dang, what is this?
Oh, no.
You know what I mean? But I was suffering from it, and after going, you know, vegan, You know, I mean, I haven't had that problem anymore, nor stomach indigestion, because I
Right.
used to drink Pepto-Bismol on a
Right.
regular basis.
Oh, I kept Tums with me, and then chronic allergies. You know, I had this time of the year. You know, I'm surprised I even have a septum because I was always, and it wasn't Coke, but I was always spraying other stuff up my nose. Like, you know, I kept Afrin and
Right.
all kind of them Flonase and all these things, spraying them up my nose with. Because I could never breathe and having, you know, dealing with a lot of different chronic sinus and allergy colds. And I have not been to the doctor since I got over my pneumonia for any health conditions. So, and that's with
Wow.
me taking care of myself. There's been a few times where I felt a little run down, thought I was trying to get sick, but I go in there, like my son says, and make some tinctures or something, gargle, drink some tea, you know, take something, do 2 spins, turn around, pat myself on the head. But no, seriously, I have learned how to, you know, heal myself. So,
Right.
Hippocrates says, let food be thy medicine. And if you're eating the right food, you don't need medicine.
Wow.
So, and Hippocrates is the father of Western medicine, if most people don't know.
Right.
So, you know, we need to pay attention to what adages, you know, they say first do no harm. Most of the medications that we're prescribed, and you just don't take my word for it, just watch TV and listen to the commercials. In that last 30 seconds, you hear all of the, you know, I don't want anything that's going to give me thoughts of suicide. That just does not seem like I should take that. You know, if I, you know, might lose a body part when I go use the restroom, I don't think I want to take that. You
That's
know,
right.
some of the side effects are worse than the pill that you're taking the condition for. So, at some point, that's the cognitive dissonance that we need to start paying attention to. If they say first do no harm, why are we taking medications that cause so much harm? So
that's right. We're accustomed as Americans to really take medicine before we even seek any other remedy. And I've noticed that even through my plight. You know, I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, I haven't been sick. You know, I've been around the flu. I've been around all this through my kids, and it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm still good. You know,
Right.
I'm like, dang. So it have to deal with that plant-based diet that we got going. Well, it's lifestyle. I don't even call it a diet.
it's
a lifestyle.
it's a lifestyle. It's a consciousness of just being aware of what you're putting in your body.
Right.
You know, you are what you eat because. And not just physical food, but spiritual, mental, physical, everything that you put into your body comprises who you are. Because I'm not that, even we can go look at my baby pictures, oh, that was a cute little baby, but nothing about that is the same except for my soul and my spirit.
Right.
So who am I honoring at that moment? Am I honoring my soul and my spirit throughout my life? Because my physical body is constantly changing. All these cells are going to slough off, they're going to recycle, they're going to be anew. You know, nothing is
Right.
going to be the same. So what am I honoring whenever I choose to put, you know, food into my mouth? And it's not always about eating a, you know, bland and boring diet. And I tell people I'm vegetarian. It's like, oh, you want a salad? I was like, there's more food out there than just salad. So the seasonings, the herbs, they all have medicinal properties, and that's how you're able to, you know, maintain health through just by giving your body what it's asking for.
Right. And you know what? We're going to come back with a little bit more of that. Our girl came on in here. D Nice is in the building. Hey. Yeah, now we got the cold pack now. You know, we got the cold pack. I call it the cold pack.
Yeah, we in here.
Yeah, got the two. We got 3 real folks up in here. We're going to be talking about health. We're going to be talking about holiday cooking. We're going to be talking about, you know, because I have a lot of people ask me, man, what's vegan? What's that? We're going to talk a little bit more about that and how it does benefit your body a little bit more. We touched on it a little bit, but we're going to really get deep into it. And then also, we're going to talk about, you know, because people want to eat better, but it's a mental thing. It's not, you know, if you don't get your mind right, you know, you can't even fathom being anything vegan or vegetarian. I mean,
well, there are unhealthy vegans and vegetarians out there.
Right,
so
right.
It's you know what, you know, you can be a junk food vegan, or you know, or even if you're eating all the right foods, but if your mental composition is not correct,
that's
then
right.
you know it's not gonna make a difference. And you've heard
Big
people
difference.
smoke 20 packs of cigarettes a day and ate steak and drank red wine and lived to be 109, but their mental compositions were, a little bit different. So, of course, that's not the lifestyle we want to model, but that's just to say how important your mental. How you face life, how you address life, how you deal with what comes at you at life, what the final product
and how
is
you
be.
handle what comes at you. I think that's a mental thing. We're going to get more into that right now. We're going to go with Uncle Reese.
Uncle Reese.
The Bananas, right here on the Mission Radio Show.
We'll be back.
Yes, it's the Mission Radio Show right here on the Fishbowl Radio Network, and we're live.
We are live.
This is your boy Funkster, and I have
Girl D Nice, and I'm in the building.
Look at
and I got an attitude right now
She got an
because.
attitude. Oh Lord!
Did y'all know the Funkster was live on Facebook?
I don't
Did
do that
anybody
often.
see this?
I don't do that.
Actually, several people did because it shows me how many views it has.
I just put that on that. I
It
have a
shows
way I
me
can put it
that
on
he
now.
actually had several views of this particular
Well,
live post on Facebook.
There's a way
Did
I can
anybody
do it.
happen to notice that I wasn't in it? Okay.
You know what? I'm
I
sorry.
was late for
started to
work.
wait.
I was late for work. Now, to that I admit.
Tell them why
put
you
my-
were late though.
I refuse.
Why you put me out there?
I can't.
Tell them why you were late
Now, see, that is
on clouds and stuff. Tell them that.
G5 classified information. Because
Yeah.
if I admit to why I was late, then that might change the listener's perception of who I am as an individual, and I can't have that happen. But I will say this. If he ever, and I don't care that it was for 1 minute and 8 seconds,
That's all it was. 1 minute.
go live without me again, it's going to be some smoke in the city.
Well, I wasn't the only one.
Consequences and repercussions. But this
chef,
is
the
your
chef.
feed to which this is posted.
Yeah, I'm
People gonna
sorry.
think we done broke up.
No, we ain't broke up.
Because that's the first thing people do is disconnect each other on Facebook.
That's it. That's
the
it. That's
first
what
thing they do.
There's gonna be some gossip and
You
lies
know
on this
it.
deal.
They
I know
ain't
it.
together no more.
That's what they're gonna do. They're gonna eat
Nice
out.
done left the show.
Yeah.
You know it. You done started
That's
some
a
mess
shame.
on Facebook.
That's a shame. You know what? And also, I was so scared because someone scratched the truck,
Oh my God.
and I was
Wait a
like,
minute, you should have delivered that news off the air. I almost choked. Oh
They
my
did.
God.
they scratched it.
Was it my face?
No, it wasn't yours. It was mine.
Okay.
So I figured one of them D Nice fans. So let me just put it out there. D
I
Nice
was
fan,
gonna
y'all
say-
leave the truck alone, would you?
Please leave the truck alone.
I know you must have came from
listen.
peer review.
Okay, well, let me say this. Because every week, over the last few weeks, because, it's been a Black College homecoming every weekend
Yeah, Paul Quinn got
over the
that
last
right
few
now.
weeks, because the
Oh, really?
Reunion Tower was purple and gold last night. Shouts out to PQC. Reunion Tower was spinning it all night long last night here in Dallas.
Oh, well.
Now, let me also say this.
How much they pay for it?
I don't know, but shouts out because,
My mom graduated from Paul Quinn.
Paul Quinn?
Paul Quinn, yes.
No, she talking about something else.
no, last night for real. When I was
The
coming,
hood school, you know. the
PQC,
hoods.
Paul Quinn College. First of all, cut it. Okay, so, but per review, I also host the Royal Purple and Gold, and we played another school that also hosts Royal Purple and Gold today, Alcorn, and beat the brakes off of Alcorn.
They
Down
ain't
in
nobody. They got
Purview today.
crackheads playing for them.
You play too much. So shouts out to all the HBCUs. Big things happening in historically Black colleges and universities.
Yes, they are.
Um,
TSU especially, we like to send out a special shout to you guys, scholars and
Yeah, they
and
had
future
homecoming
leaders.
last weekend,
Yes,
and Jackson
yes.
State just
they paid the referees, and we understand what happened in that situation.
Okay.
We like Donald Trump. We deny.
deny.
We all vote for him.
Yeah, shout out to my hometown, Houston, Texas, stand up. X Homes D44. Shouts out to all my folks
Yeah.
kicking it on the north side.
Quit scratching the truck, please.
Okay, and look,
Don't scratch it.
because I'm going to tell you what I thought happened when you said that.
Scratch.
Because y'all know I done changed my life.
Oh,
I'm different now.
Have you?
I am.
Okay.
And I've been in a relationship for several months now. So who's ever
You sure
disgruntled about that and out here scratching up faces, y'all need to stop.
I think that's what it is too. I think she done made one of her
somebody's
lovers mad, And they went around here tailgating the truck and everything. I'm going to get that truck.
Super disgruntled. Sorry, y'all. Somebody done finally sold me up. I don't know what else to tell y'all.
I be doggone. Somebody
I was single for 90 years.
You need to put some pictures on Facebook of y'all together or something like that. Go on and put it.
You know what?
Go on and put it out there.
You know what? Nope. Next question.
I know you're right.
Nope.
I know you're right. Nope.
Next question.
Don't put your business out there.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Chef, what you got to say about all this? You know, I mean, all this scratching of the trucks and
you know, haters gonna hate. Haters gonna hate. You know.
Yeah.
People just ain't got no life. I be telling them, get a life.
Get a life.
Get a life.
If they ate better, they'll think better.
Right.
See, they eating that meat and that pig and that
and you certainly are looking nice today, by the way. You know, veganism is, I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm going to call it that.
Yeah, go ahead.
Agrees with you. You look nice. And plus, I know you've been in the gym recently.
I've been trying to do a little something.
Quite a bit more than you had been recently. I know you have some goals, and I'm very proud of you.
Thank you. So I'm going to tell you something. You are the inspiration. So I'm just letting you know you're the inspiration, and I appreciate it so much. I'm saying it live on air.
Thank you, sir.
So the emails will stop because they listened to that last show when they was by themselves. She had her little co-writer. What's up there, Lady T? They had a great show, and everybody said, well, you know what? What happened? What went on? Are y'all still?
Yeah. No, we ain't going nowhere ever.
What is it? I said, man, that's my girl, man. She getting down.
I know, right?
And everybody have rave reviews, so thank you for all the emails on D Nice, because D Nice did do a great job.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? That's a wonderful job.
I don't like being here without you, though. So
yeah, I don't either. I
try not to go nowhere, you know. And I know I get ghosts, but you know, I'm out here pursuing all my dreams. So sometimes I have to tour the countryside, if you will.
And you know what? We with her wherever she go. We're in the heart.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, so that's the way we do things around here, Chef. That's how we do it. You know.
I feel the love.
You feel the love?
I'm seeing the whole.
Oh, you seeing the whole?
My best buddy right there.
Yeah, I can see the whole thing is.
Yeah. You know, that's
chemistry, right?
Yeah, it's a Mission Radio show.
We believe in love over here at the Mission Radio show. Real love going on around here.
Well, that's all I'm
Our favorite song. I played our favorite song before you moved in.
Love is all. That's my jam. It's my joint.
Love is all.
Oh, he gonna sing on a Saturday. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Well,
you're gonna get a little taste of that later on the first one.
But veganism does definitely agree with you. When we met, you had not even begun that journey. It wasn't until shortly after that we met. A few months after we met, that you embarked. I think that's the right word. Upon the journey to being. I felt good about that. It was good. I felt good about embarked. Yeah, it was. I felt good about embarked. Upon that journey, and we talk about it. We always talk about you being because I pick on you, but listen, it has taken years off of this man's life. I'm telling you.
Amen.
When we first met, he was celebrating a birthday.
Yeah, I was celebrating a birthday.
What
birthday was that, Mike? Was that 44?
Well, Mike is in the booth too. This is best friend Mike back here. He never says anything. He's here with us a lot, but he never says anything. Huge supporter of the show, so thank you, Mike.
Yes, that's my boy.
But Mike is a buff dude. Y'all see Mike, y'all be like, yeah, he works out. But
and he don't.
We're gonna tell all his business. Don't tell the man business.
The hater,
the hater
just creeps up out of here at times. It's hilarious, man. But
genetics is a mother sucker.
Like these guys look, and I know Mike's brother, so yeah, they got good genes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, all of them buff.
Definitely. But
kids come out there buff.
Cut it.
You got some nephews and nieces.
Today. Buff. But since you became a big, you've celebrated a couple of my birthdays, and and that's what happens when we change our lifestyles. We create longevity in life. We increase our lifespan.
We do.
And
we
our
do.
livelihoods.
Quality
we feel
as
better.
well.
Yeah.
Quality. Talk about that, Chef, about the quality of life. How does it change the quality of life?
Well, for me, life is supposed to be experienced. We're not just supposed to exist. We're supposed to go out and see the world and
Yes.
experience the beauties and joys, the sorrows, and even the pains of life. So,
I like it. I like
but
it.
when you're sick, you just seem to be on one side of that scale, and
Yeah.
I actually was fortunate enough to have an opportunity when I was in college to work in the hospital, and I did some patient care tech work, and it was in a medical surgical ICU unit. And that unit was most of the people were in there because of chronic conditions, so chronic COPD, so chronic obstructive pulmonary disorder, or different variations of heart disease. And most of them were on ventilators because this was the ICU. Most of them did not leave the ICU once they were on the ventilator. Then, we started beginning to see the epidemic of people being morbidly obese, to where we had to order special beds for them to come in because they could not fit in a standard size hospital bed. So we had to get like a extra wide bed to give a patient who weighs 400 plus 500 plus pounds. It would take 3 or 4 people, nurses and myself, to help give this person a bath. One having to hold the stomach and move the arms and the legs because one person could not give this person a bath by themselves. Normally, an average size adult, it would only take one nurse or a patient care tech to give them a bath. And then that's not the ending of your life that you want to have. You don't, to even to have that dignity at the end of your life. We would always do it with dignity. I never did it with judgment or shame or to make fun of, but it's still the fact they would take that many people just to clean someone, and that's because of their lifestyle that they live. Their diet absolutely played a big part in that. And then you would see the family members coming in to visit, and they're eating McDonald's, and they're maybe just one step behind them, maybe a few pounds lighter than the person that's on the bed. The age ranges are still getting younger and younger of people needing this type of care. And it's all about what you're putting in, just being aware of what you're putting into your body. And I've had the opportunities, and we've even seen where been there when people have passed away, and seen the difference of that immediate difference of someone who is alive and then dead, being able to feel the palpable difference of a spirit leaving a room. Like you feel that when someone dies, you can feel I can, I'm very sensitive. Like you can really feel that difference. I don't want my death to be like that. Right. I don't want my death to be like my father's, where he was bedridden for many, many years, unable to speak or move on his own will or volition. I don't want that for myself. So the quality of my life is really important because I'm a strong-willed person. I'm very independent. I want to move around and travel. It's things I want to do and see, and I can't do that if I'm sick.
That's right.
And so if I'm taking a lot of medications, I having to pack all the pills with me. Or if I'm, if you're, I just went on a vacation to New York. You can't go around New York if you're not fit. You got to be, just the walking and maneuvering and subways, or, that takes a certain amount of physical fitness to be able to do that.
There was a lady that actually right here in Six Flags, because of her being, I guess obese. She got on the roller coaster ride over here. I think it was the Texas Giant.
A few years ago.
Was it
about 4 years ago? 4 or 5 years ago.
About 4 years ago, was it?
Yeah, 4 or 5 years ago. It hadn't been that long ago.
Now, what was that with the? Was it with the?
It didn't. The safety belt did not lock in place all the way, and when the roller coaster got to the peak. Mm-hmm. And got ready to come down, she was thrown from the roller coaster.
I didn't realize it was because of her. Because of her size.
Yeah, they they had a lawsuit and all of those things, but it wasn't that the
ride was faulty.
That the ride was faulty, and because they they reopened the Texas Giant.
They sure did.
Shortly thereafter, I mean,
wow.
and we're able to do so with no more incidents. Now
They have
Flags,
a sign there now, though.
yeah,
I think
they
You
do
been
have
out
a
there?
sign. I've been
Sign.
out there. They have a sign. They have a sign on all of those rides now
Really?
for that reason. Just
Okay.
reminding you that they unfortunately can't guarantee your safety past a certain size. And it's the same thing with height and like small children. You
Right.
know, if you not, we were at the fair and my kids always take a picture with they have the big text sign that says you have to be this tall. And we do it every year to see how much they've grown from year to year, honestly. But if you're not, if you don't reach up to Big Texas hat, it's not safe for you. They
Right.
tell you, we'll let you ride, but with your parent, that kind of a thing. So they took responsibility for it. Six Flags did, and shouts out to Six Flags, because we talk about y'all every week. Really, we're gonna need a season pass, like for
Yeah, we
free.
do. We're promoting them.
Seriously, we talk about y'all every week.
We mention it too much.
A little
Without
too much
paid.
without
Because y'all staring right at it. I mean,
We
y'all
have
a
the
great
best view.
I have
We
like
have
the
the
best view of Arlington. If you don't
best
have
view of Arlington
Yeah,
in
and
the
then
Great
got
Ball.
the got the Texas Stadium over there. They
Yep.
finna, they
AT&T
you know what they
Stadium.
getting ready to do, right?
what?
Y'all know what they getting ready to do to Texas Rangers? They getting ready to demolition that
and building a new stadium.
I remember
building
when
new
they
stadium.
built that, feeling like they just
Yeah.
built
no,
that.
that was like 20 years ago.
I know,
The
but
stadium.
he made me feel old. I remember
Yeah.
when they opened
They
it.
opened it
they
by-
just
over-
opened it. It hasn't been that long.
The-
I remember
it's
the
ballpark
parades.
at Arlington is what it is.
Yeah, the ballpark
Ballpark,
in
the
Arlington.
ballpark.
Ballpark
Park
in
at
Arlington, and it's going to be, and the Rangers deserve it. Red Hot Rangers, they deserve it. They're
D
great.
nice.
They are a great team.
See.
They have been competitive.
But it's
Let me stay on the subject. I'm gonna talk about my Rangers in a minute, okay? But yes, Six Flags, they took responsibility, but now they do have those disclaimers.
well, they said Six Flags took responsibility, and what I ask people to do is take responsibility
Right.
for themselves and their health, because at the end of the day, I'm a certified master trainer for a chronic disease self-management class and a diabetes self-management class. It was it's an evidence-based class that was created by Stanford University. And one of the biggest things, and even when I took the training for this class, what I really admire about the way the program is put together, because it goes along with my philosophy, is you got to take responsibility for your actions.
Right.
Your doctor is not going to heal you. Your doctor is not going to keep you well. Your doctor is going to advise you on what you need to do. And even with them prescribing medications, most people don't even take their medications like they're supposed to.
Right.
He tells you need to exercise, you need to eat better. Are you following your doctor's orders? So we are all self-managing our care.
Right.
Your health and well-being is going to reflect what you've done to manage that, and it's not to be become a victim of it. It's just to take responsibility. This is where I'm at, and what do I need to do different so that I can have a different outcome. And that can't happen until you begin to really take responsibility for yourself.
And also,
your
I
health.
think to take it seriously, because to take responsibility, I think is just one part of it. You say, okay, I am going to do, what they're asking me to do. But, to the extent that you're just doing it, you have to also take your health and wellness seriously as a part of your life. I think people don't or tend not to think enough about it. Take for granted that we're just gonna wake up every day. Take for granted that when you have an ache or a pain, sometimes that is just an ache or a pain. A lot of times it's direct indications that you need to make some adjustments in your lifestyle. And
Well, let's pay me now, pay me later. So
Right.
you're gonna
That's
have
it.
to you're gonna pay for it one way or the
one
other.
way or the other.
So it's just in the choices that you have to that you make. My mom used to always say every tub has to sit on its own bottom.
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're going to go to these commercials, get
Let's pay some
paid.
bills, y'all.
We'll be right back with the Mission Radio
Show.
Hottest radio show right here on the Fishbowl Radio Network, The Mission. Check it out every Saturday from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're jamming the hottest records and also addressing issues that concern you, helping the community one show at a time. You can also call in at 214-556-6239. Tell us what's going on in your hood. The Mission Radio Show
on FishbowlRadioNetwork.com.
Yeah.
I've had my share.
Well. This is Dr. Deacon's son right here on the
Mission Radio Show.
Radio Show.
Yeah. Fishbowl Radio
Mission Radio
Network.
Show.
That's
There
us.
it is.
That's us. Fishbowl Radio
Here
Network.
we
The Mission
okay.
Radio Show.
Okay. Hey, this is Dr. Deacon's son. Did I say that already, Peaches?
You did good.
Yeah. You looking real
my
good,
name.
Peaches. You're red lipstick.
Except my name is not now, nor has it ever been.
Peaches. It been Peaches and day one.
Dr. Dickinson, what is my name?
Came in with them thighs and showing and everything.
Do you have some church announcements?
You ain't got no man, do you?
I do.
Oh, do you?
Shouts out to Najee.
Did he know that you got a 65, 70, yeah, save a little time off my age? A little 70-year-old man that you had.
You gonna shave some time off your age?
Shave it down. I shave it down like I shave my mustache.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do. I got some church announcement, though.
God.
I got some church announcement pieces.
Come on.
The pastor, I sent pictures
How
of
is
him.
the pastor?
He doing okay, he trying to stay in the good health. They locked him up. He didn't know that man was a woman. A woman was a man. One of
Right,
those.
the
One of
other
those.
way
Yeah,
around,
Yeah,
but-
yeah, woman was man.
Right.
So he got locked up downtown and everything. He
Free
been
the
down for
pastor.
one. Yeah, and the top of the list on the church announcement, he's talking about the tithes and offerings. Okay. We got somebody else in the
Yes, Chef Eboni
Chef?
Dionne is
Oh, she
on
cooks?
the show today.
Oh, I need you to mix me up for a good batch of applesauce. You know what I'm saying? I can't eat because my dentures you stick to everything. You know what I'm saying? You can make some beans or something like
I
that.
got some. Beans ain't
Yeah.
gonna give you no gas.
Yeah, give me some gas, but that's okay. I'm in that old
Take
nursing
some
home out
Pectate,
there.
yeah.
Yeah, everybody got gas in there. I rather smell my own than everybody else.
Well.
Yes, yeah.
And the church said.
Yeah, Lord, but you are a nice looking lady, though.
Oh, why, thank you.
You ever dated a 65-year-old?
Deacon, stay focused.
I can really smooth your skin out.
Stay focused, Deacon.
Oh, okay.
Come on back to the
All right.
tithes and offering. Tell the people.
Yeah, that's
Tell
right,
the
that's
people.
right, that's right. I get off track. I see all this chocolate in front of me, and I get off track. Tithes and offering.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Taco Bell. Yeah, the spirit got into me a little bit after that, perverted episode. But I'm telling you, we got to raise up the money, and we've been putting coins in the basket. It's getting heavy. Deacon Johnson can't carry it. He got arthritis in both hands. You know what I'm saying? In his feet and in his back and in his left thigh. You know what I'm saying? He got arthritis in his left thigh. We probably rub it down with some WD-40. It didn't work. But we need to put money that folds and not the money that jingles in the bag. Okay? We got a pastor, he down there, he need commissary.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? And he need it. And he don't need to eat what everybody else is eating. He's too good to eat that. You know what I'm saying?
He's the pastor.
He's the pastor. He's anointed by God. Oh, he's Taco Bell. Now, I'm going to tell you something. We got another church announcement. These people keep on being on this church announcement. We're talking about the midget ministry. The midget ministry, they want step stools so when they go door to door, people can see them in the pee hole. You see, because if they can't see them, they won't open up the door. You know what I'm saying? So they want something that they can boost themselves up when they knock on the door so they can be seen. And I'm here to tell you, we ain't got no money for that. We're trying to raise money for the Christmas function. And right now, if we don't raise that up, we all going to have bologna sandwiches. We can't afford the chef to come right there and cook anything for us. Okay? So we need something. And we got guess what we got? We got our government cheese shipment. It came on in.
The cheese is in, church. The cheese is in.
So line up Sunday morning. You only can get one loaf per family. I know how you do. You get all 5 kids, and you want all of them to get a loaf. And they ain't going to happen. And then we're going to take pictures of every family, and we know who's in your family. Okay? You can't do it like you do it at tax time. Just claim everybody kids. You know what I'm saying? Make up you some kids. Sister Thompson said, your old sister Jackie and them, they put Casper Johnson on
Stay
there.
focused. Thank you.
Okay. They put on his taxes. He don't even exist. Cass. You know he's a friendly ghost. You know what I'm saying? Like Phyllis the cat. You know what I mean?
You got the Holy Spirit, though. You got
Yeah.
to feed the Holy
Nah,
Spirit, don't you?
you can't charge them on your taxes, though, sister. You can't put taxes on them. Huh? You can't put them on your tax. You go to jail.
Deacon,
We ain't got no money. We already got a pastor in jail. We don't need everybody in jail. We can't afford it.
free the pastor.
Read the pastor.
Hashtag.
Deacon, did you have any more church announcements?
There's one more. You know, the pantyhose drive. What we got to do with these
I'm gonna call
pantyhose.
the pantyhose drive off.
Well, you're going to have to talk to Sister Thompson them. You know, that Elder Thompson them. That's who did it. And they said, they asked the women, please wash your pantyhose before you donate them. You know what I'm saying? We done had stains in them and everything else. And we got
help
to
me,
wash the
Jesus.
stains out.
Well,
Please, you know.
as usual.
Cellulite, you know what I'm saying? They got cellulite.
In the pantyhose?
Yeah, in the pantyhose. How you get cellulite stains in the pantyhose?
As usual, the deacon has blessed us with these announcements.
Well, we like to thank everybody. Thank everybody, Peaches. Thank everybody.
Thank you all, and these have been your church
Church
announcements. I would normally tell you to govern yourselves accordingly, but
Please govern
I'm
yourself.
not really sure if I want y'all to do any of these things.
Love everybody.
Amen.
DMD. What's up, Dory? This your brother. You know who I am. The Funkster. And also I got,
D-Nice is in the building, and I ain't never going nowhere.
she ain't going nowhere. We ain't going to let her go
25
nowhere.
Bibles.
They never let you go nowhere. You stand right.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know that song is a great example of how you can change your life, reposition yourself, and
Wow.
and still remain relevant, you know, even without content that is secular or negative or whatever word you want, whatever word or term you want to apply to the situation. You know, I
That's right.
remember I was very young.
She was
Now,
very young.
and now I'm much older, but I was very young when DJ DMD dropped 25 Lighters, which
Yeah.
is a Southern classic.
Yes.
Um,
TSU stand up.
And then some years later, to hear him come back and say, we're going to redo this thing, 25 Bibles, just echoes the heart of what Christianity is all about, and something that you guys were discussing earlier.
That's right.
The Word of God says that we are transformed through the renewing of our minds. So in most situations, all it really takes is a made-up mind.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
And once you're able to do that,
Oh, now she preaching.
I preach on Saturdays. Once you're able to do that, then you will start to see
Let's see
change in
something.
your life. If you can change your thinking, you can definitely change your life.
Go ahead. You gonna change your life?
Yeah.
How you change your life, Ebony?
Oh, well, they say in the beginning there was a word, and the word was God, and the word was with God. So, your thoughts, everything you think creates everything that you have. And it's not a one-time thing. It's not,
Right.
one day I'm just going to change my mind and then it's going to all be better. Like, it is a daily, constant practice and habit that you have to constantly put in practice, because they're always going to be faced with temptations and negativity and things that's going to challenge you in what you think. And do you really believe this about yourself? We're going to test you, right? So
Right.
I constantly have to and when I catch myself slipping, that's when I could tell everything else starts slipping.
Right.
When I let my mind begin to wander and focus on those negative things that are going on, that all seems to was able to manifest. So when I change my mind and change my thoughts, and even me giving up meat, when I actually fasted. That's how I decided to give up meat, and I did it in December. I did Ramadan, and I'm not practicing Muslim, but I did it with one of my friends, and we did it together just as a challenge. And we fasted from sun up to sundown, and I did not eat any meat. So this was in December, so it's holiday season. I also had planned a brunch before I decided to fast, so I was cooking all day. I had the opportunity I was traveling for work. I went to New Orleans, and I still maintained and held on to my fast.
Right. All it
Christmas
takes is a made-up mind.
dinner and everything.
You know what? And I hate to interrupt this, but we have my brother online right now, DJ DMD. He's online on the Mission Radio Show. What's going on, D?
Man, I'm chilling, man. I didn't even know you would put me on there.
What's
That's how we do it right here. That's how we do it around here.
You know, you're the only one that could pull something like this.
right. Off of nothing and make it worth it. Make him ask him at least one good question. DMB, answer one good question for us, because we just got through talking about you. We just got through playing your song 25 Bibles. Answer one good question for us.
God bless y'all.
We love it, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
She had some great things to say about you, Dory, and I said, man, look here, I got to call my brother up. I can't just take this by myself. I think that, Dory, you done a great job, an awesome job, redoing that song.
Definitely.
And, you've saved so many people, and I have so many emails that I need to forward to you, because the testimonies are coming like truckloads, man. But today we have Chef Eboni Dionne in the building. And, of course, we got D Nice in the building.
Nice stay in the building.
And we are sitting up here jamming 25 Bibles.
25 Bibles on the dresser.
On the
yes,
dresser. So how's the world of Dory going, man? How's DMD doing?
Man, well, I mean, it is what it is. Still working on 55, the album. I don't know if you told them about it, but 25 Bibles is just my re-entry back into the music biz. And what way to do it than to flip a classic for the Lord. So,
absolutely.
55, the album, we still working on it, trying to get it together. In the meantime, I'm just learning how to keep this walk with the Lord going on, and trying to be a good husband and a decent father. You know, my kids, I got one of them receiving scholarship offers from all over the country.
Lyric.
So,
shouts out to Lyric.
So it's crazy. So I'm just living right now. I mean, it's a crazy time in the whole country. So I'm just trying to keep my head straight and stay focused on what God got me doing right this moment. But I'm thankful and appreciative for people like y'all for keep playing the record, man. Y'all,
absolutely.
I mean,
as often
man, we
as
appreciate
we can. As often as we can. I just want to tell you real quick, I was saying 25 Lighters is a Southern classic.
Yes.
Yes. And I mean, if you from PA, if you from BMT, if you from the Golden Triangle, if you from H-Town, Houston, Texas, Northside, stand up. Everybody know. You know, if you from all the way from Third Ward, Jack Yates High School, everybody, it goes all the way down when that song comes on. But it's a perfect example. It's the perfect example of how when we change our minds, what can happen in our lives. It's a perfect example of when we give our situations over to the Most High, what He's able to then do with us. It's a great example, and we appreciate your example. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I mean, that sound. You're welcome. I mean, thank you, and I guess that was why the Lord led me to do it, and to everything that we do is ultimately to give and bring Him glory. And I don't know if Percy has told y'all, but the song was an inspiration after a prayer, and God has been so good to me, y'all, and it's just like, Lord, what can I do to show you that how much I appreciate what you've done in my life since 2003. And I was led to the closet, put this record out, and it was just like, this is my offering, in a sense, to the Lord, just saying thank you for
amen.
What He's done in my life.
Wow.
And, so, I mean, the testimony that Percy, I mean, it has been amazing, and I didn't know that the Lord was going to use the song like He's used it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the world has to say about this new direction of mine with this music. So I'm gonna still be representing the Third Coast. It's gonna be something.
Third Coast in the building.
You know it, they're the side.
It's just gonna be kingdom. It's just gonna be kingdom. Amen.
Hey man, you already know, man. And hey, you know what? I love you, man.
I love you too, bro.
I want you to know that, man. We really appreciate all the information that you've been sitting on Facebook too, man. I mean, we're in a real situation right now in the voting polls.
It's gonna be all right.
Yeah,
it's gonna be all right. We gonna be all right. Y'all know that, right?
Yeah, already.
We're gonna be all right. That's for sure.
Either way, we're gonna be all right.
Yeah, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be all right. But I really do appreciate the information.
We appreciate you for taking the call, because seriously, Funk, he like, wait a minute, I'm calling my boy right quick, and just throwing people on the radio. So we definitely do appreciate you for taking the call.
Yeah, I definitely do appreciate
and
it.
if you come this way, my expectation is that you come sit in the booth with us for a few minutes.
Come on.
We've been trying to make that happen for a minute, man. We're going to do that over the holidays for sure this year, bro, for real.
Let's do it. When you come up here, your money is no good, bro. So you come on up here, man, and enjoy us, man, for a little bit, all right?
Well, thank y'all for having me on the Mission Radio Show.
You know it, baby.
You know.
DMC and the Mission Radio Show, baby.
We'll talk to you later, baby.
Love you, bro.
Love you, too. That's my bye.
All right, that's
DJ
what's up.
DMD.
We appreciate
on the
DMD for taking
bench,
that call, cause you know what, and we do people like that on a regular basis.
All the time.
Yeah, we definitely do, but
time.
we are we have a lot of love in our lives from a bunch of amazing people that we appreciate for being guests, whether planned or impromptu, on this little old show we co-host together.
And we have some more folks. We got some more surprises coming in on the 19th. My boy Beezer will be in town. Bumby, he'll be in town along with Scarface.
They got them Legends of the South concert. Or
so they'll
like
be in here.
Happening.
We're going to get them on the phone. We're going to get them on the phone. So y'all keep it locked here on the Mission Radio Show. And we got a little show, man, but a lot of people know us.
Yeah,
that's real talk. But we also have the chef in town. I didn't mean to take no shine from you, girl.
Oh, look, I enjoyed 25 lighters, man. That was the cuts. That was
Hey.
Look, I was class of 97. We was all up. We was all up in that. You put that on. We fit at midpoint, boy. Midpoint. What y'all know about midpoint? Midpoint. We said it day.
Midpoint. Man, I ain't even thought about midpoint in X amount of years.
Right. That brings back memories
gosh.
of some MD and MP. So
That's it. We got the king of midpoint sitting right behind.
Midpoint.
Let me not tell it business.
Right.
Hey, we got the God Nation and 7 Sweet Brown right here on the Mission Radio Show. We're gonna be back with more Chef Eboni Dionne.
We be back.
RMG right here on the Mission Radio Show and the Fishbowl Radio Network. I am your host, the Funkster, with
D-Nice. And I figured I better roll back over here and say something when the music came down, because I was posting to social media. So y'all go check me out. I'm always accepting new friends at my name is D-Nice on Instagram.
She got it down. And also, where can they find the chef at?
You can find me on Facebook and Instagram and at Chef Eboni Dionne. And my website is Chef Eboni Dionne. And my name is Ebony with an I, so it's EBONI DIONNE, Dionne like Warwick. So make sure.
Wow. I like that. I like the spelling of that. Different. Hey, so we have holidays coming up. We have Thanksgiving coming up in another couple of weeks, and also we have Christmas around the corner, and then right after that, New Year's. So
hold on. Hold on. Now you went straight to Thanksgiving. There's actually a national holiday. This not Sunday tomorrow, but this coming Sunday. There's a national holiday.
Must be a birthday.
11 and 13 is D-Nice's birthday.
I had a feeling.
Everybody got the day off.
Everybody got the day off. Everybody don't go to work.
Sunday.
Just call your
11,
boss and tell
13.
them, hey, listen, it's D-Nice's birthday. We ain't coming in.
Well, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
National holiday.
The deacon going to sing you a nice song.
No, thank you.
He got something written up already.
Okay.
I just
If he do a solo, I need it to be solo. I can't hear
No,
him.
you got somebody that's gonna help him. You got somebody gonna help him. You come on to the radio station next week, you'll see what I'm talking about. But anyway, so we have these holidays. You have your menus with us.
Yes, I do. I do. So I said that I specialize in vegan and vegetarian soul food, but I am in Texas, so I have to be business savvy as well. And I know that we, as Texans, have an intimate love affair with meat. So I still do cook it, but I cook it responsibly, and I pray over it. So that soul food is really soul food because I put my heart, love, and so that's what
so wonderful.
I really do. I
Because
pray.
I'm not a soul food fan.
I pray over the food. food. I bless it and I thank it for its life and the sacrifice that
That's
it's
wonderful.
made, and hope that it's nourishing to the bodies of the people that eat it and receive it. So
Amen.
the
That's
energy is
beautiful.
definitely transferred. So I want to make sure that I transfer good energy
Oh,
into the
that's
food
great,
that I
man.
prepare. But the menu that I have my basic menu, my traditional get you started Thanksgiving dinner. It's going to come with one entree, one meat entree, 2 sides, roll, and tea for $16.85 per person. So for a minimum of 10, family of 10, that would be $160. You know you can't go to the grocery store and get all that stuff that cheap.
That's
So
right.
let me do it. And then the vegan entree, if you want to do it something a little bit different, a little bit healthier, you hate going to your granny's house because you know everything you ain't gonna be able to eat it.
Right.
You want to bring your own food, give me a call. The vegan samples, it would be 1 vegan entree, 2 sides, roll, and tea for $15.85 a person. So that would be $158.50 for a family of 10, and we can take it up. I can make up. I actually feed up to 200 people, so I can do for anywhere from 10 to 200. And then for my deluxe meal, you get 1 entree, meat entree, 3 sides, a dessert, tea, rolls, sweet potato cornbread. Yes, I did say sweet potato cornbread.
Okay, now that sounds interesting.
Yes, it's more than interesting, baby. You just got to try it to believe it.
Yes.
And then complimentary, you get a complimentary infused water. That would be $29.95 per person, or $259 for a family of 10. And then for the vegan fabulous dinner, the full dinner, it would be the same. You get the vegan entree with the 3 sides, dessert, tea, infused water, rolls, sweet potato cornbread for $22.95 per person. The options that I
Got me
have,
hungry.
I know.
I'm sure.
Yes.
She said vegan and entree. You got excited.
So the
I am very.
so the for the meat entrees I have, it'll come with turkey and dressing and giblet gravy and cranberry sauce, or you can get my coconut basil chicken with garlic roasted mashed potatoes. The other vegan entrees are going to be a vegan Salisbury steak made with black beans and brown rice, or a vegan lasagna. I actually get the pasta handmade, freshly made. From a artisan company right here locally in Dallas. So I do things top notch. The side options are going to be green beans or collard greens, because what's a southern meal without collard greens, right? Sweet potatoes, mac and cheese. I do make the mac and cheese like your granny make the mac and cheese with the real cheese. Yes. And I make a vegan mac and cheese. So that vegan mac and cheese is really tasty as well. Roasted squash and zucchini. And those were the sides, and the tea is going to be hibiscus tea, or either that's my switch on instead of red Kool-Aid, I do hibiscus tea. And then the pound cake, the dessert is going to be pound cake. It's going to be a traditional pound cake. I've been making this pound cake forever. It's my grandmother's recipe, honey. That's what I call my grandmother. So I do use real butter and real eggs and my foot. I put my foot all up in there.
You got to add a little toe jam.
And then the vegan cake will be a vegan lemon blueberry pound cake, and that's also just very decadent.
Pound cake?
Vegan, yeah, lemon blueberry. And then don't let the V word scare you, all right?
Don't scare me.
Don't scare you. And the sweet potato cornbread, man, that right there that's one of my specialties. People come back and be like, girl.
What you put in there?
Girl, my foot. That's what I put in there.
I like the way you throw that in there. And my foot.
And my foot. And she don't have no toe jam, y'all.
No, I sure don't. I got some cute toes.
Love.
You gonna go want to find your mama and slap her, but I advise you do it. If you gonna do it, be quick. You're gonna have to run away. Don't slap your mama though. But the food.
The menu sounds delicious. It really does. I myself, I am not a soul food fan. I do not enjoy.
What?
I don't think that. Most of the stuff that people consider soul food, I don't think it's actually meant to be consumed.
So when you think of soul food, I guess let's define, because I don't think necessarily we're talking about the same thing. So what do you define as soul food?
Yeah,
what is generally accepted as soul food is stuff like some of the things you actually described, like collard greens. I don't think that those are actually meant to be eaten. To me, they taste terrible. Right along with all the versions of green, collard, mustard, turnip. I don't think that's meant for us to eat, but
Why
we
don't you-
eat it.
why don't you think it's meant to
Because
be?
they taste terrible, and mustard greens. Where do they come from?
They come from the mustard seed.
That's right. It's the green off the top of a mustard seed. Turnip greens. Where do they come from? It's the green from the top of a turnip. Same thing, right? So, what is a collard actually?
The collard is a collard. I mean, it doesn't have a bulb that you would eat.
Okay,
off of.
right. Where do these greens come from? And to me, they taste terrible. I'm just saying. So it's not something that I necessarily enjoy. When I
Put some mild sauce on it.
and because that's what we do.
Right.
That boy, I tell you,
Put
we
more
will,
sauce on
and a smother something in a minute.
That's
We will
right,
smother
smother.
something in a minute, and that it's just not the way I enjoy it.
Lion in it.
I don't like chicken with bones in it or skin on chicken either. So I'm a little bit different when it comes to what I prefer to eat because my palate is really sensitive. I'm real big on texture. Giblet gravy. I don't like eggs. So you're gonna miss me on some of the stuff that people normally. Sweet potato cornbread sounds great. I don't like cornbread. So like,
I think
you know what I'm
I
saying.
think you
I love
you
cornbread.
said you from
gonna eat your
where?
cornbread?
You gonna eat that cornbread?
I ain't gonna be able to eat that cornbread. I'm
Well,
just
you
not a
know,
fan. I like macaroni and cheese.
I
So
love
what kind of
macaroni.
vegetables? do you-
Limitedly. I don't care for green beans. Let me say that I won't eat a green bean, a pea of any kind, not
I
black
like
eyed,
green peas.
not green peas.
So
I
you
don't
sound
like
like what?
nothing mushy.
I just think is that your palate needs to be expanded because it sounds like it's
disagree. I eat all
kinds.
kinds of stuff, but I don't eat most of what you put on that list. Except I do like turkey. I do like depending on who make the dressing. 'Cause, I
Roast
done
turkey.
had some experience dressing, some bad experiences with dressing, but it's just some I am really more of a meat and potato type of person, but versus some other things. But I don't enjoy the greens specifically. I don't like cabbage.
Well, then those are the foods that are actually really that are good for you.
Yeah,
So
I don't think greens are good for anybody. We can just
Right.
agree to disagree on
Well,
that.
it
That is
depends.
just
well, it
they are
depends.
disgusting to me. I do not like
What's
the way
it?
greens taste, smell, or look.
Well, see, that's to you.
Right.
So-
I know everybody enjoys them. Well,
Right.
not everybody, because I know plenty of people. There's plenty of people I know they don't care for greens either. We had a whole conversation about it on Facebook one day. I don't care for greens, but I do like beans, and I like lentils, lots of stuff like that.
Now,
and
see,
I'm
Well,
all
see,
over.
greens-
the lentils. I can't do.
Because
I like-
I like lentils.
You know,
I
I like lentils. I like make
Yeah.
lentil soup, and I make a samosa.
Love
I make all
lentil
different
soup.
kind of things with lentils. But
I'm a
with the,
potato fan, but I don't like sweet potato. But that sounded really interesting. I would eat sweet potato in pie, but sweet potato in general, like how people say candied yams,
Oh, I tear them up.
I will not.
well, and even when I make my greens traditionally, especially in soul food, we would boil them with with the ham hock. And actually, one of
And
my
that's
classes,
something I
one of my
definitely
classes
don't
that
like.
I came up with is called Life After Fatback.
Oh yes,
Really?
So just to prove that there is life after fatback, because I didn't think there was life after fatback. Like I didn't think I could scramble
Right.
my eggs without some bacon dripping, And so that was, it's a mind thing. So like I'm for real. When I talk about, I've really made a transition. Like I understand what the palate likes or what it, has been accustomed to certain things. But I braise my greens. I don't boil them down, so they retain a lot of the flavor in them, and the texture is not going to be the mushy texture. And also use white truffle oil to top it off, just to get a little decadent. So
Oh, that
it's still
sounds
it's
good.
soul food, but I would say it's more like a fusion soul food because I've changed a lot of the techniques in how you prepare the food. One, to retain more of the nutrients in it, and the flavor profile that I put in there to add more medicinal properties and just enhance it a little bit, because really what the meat does and the fat back, that just gave it flavor. Because get a pig and slaughter it and don't smoke it, don't cure it,
it
and
won't taste like nothing.
Right. And
Absolutely.
so what we're really looking for that flavor. So you can get the flavor all kind of ways, and it doesn't necessarily have to come from meat. And so the menu that I pick and the foods that I pick, I try to get foods that are familiar to most people, unlike D Nice. she doesn't like those types of foods. But
ain't my thug thizzle. But
right,
y'all go ahead.
Right,
though.
but I would say the majority of people, these are foods that they, Southern comfort foods that they've grown accustomed to, and so that I serve them in a way and prepare them in a way that they look very familiar and they taste very close and similar to what they were like, that they were used to, but I've elevated it. I've taken it up a notch. When people eat my food, the plates, they're always empty. But whenever, I see people, they'll go to a buffet and it's traditionally made with all the fat back and the gravy and smothered in neck bones and all this other stuff. And they pile it on, but they don't even eat all of it because they get all of that fat, all that food. You can't even eat it.
You can't even eat all the way through that. Yeah,
right, and digest it. So just in the techniques and how I prepare the food, making it even that much, your food is meant for energy, right? It's not just as entertainment.
Right.
I think we think food is just meant for entertainment and, just to satisfy one, our palate.
Right.
And so we can become culturally used to certain foods. And then some foods people may have aversions to food because they may be actually naturally allergic to it, or their body can't digest it properly.
And generally speaking, people just like to eat.
Right.
People just like to eat.
Well, I'm saying it becomes entertainment, but with that entertainment, we're not physically active anymore as we used to be. It would take a lot of energy just to go to work. Your work required you to exert physical energy. But now we sit behind the computer, sit behind the desk on our phones. We're driving everywhere, so we're not even burning that. But when you're putting foods in your body that your body doesn't recognize as food, that's where a lot of the disease happens, and people begin to struggle with weight, and then inflammation, and then disease happens. So by stepping back and trying to educate people, I try to educate their palates as well. It has to be an evolution. Soul food was a food that was created out of survival.
Yes.
So
yes.
And so now we need to change it for a different type of survival.
Yes.
Right, because this food that we're eating right now is killing us. So instead of just the fact of surviving, we need to be able to thrive.
Right.
And so by changing, your mindset on what food is, your relationship with it, and not that you can't enjoy it or still have a party around it, but it doesn't have to be the centerpiece of your life, and it doesn't have to come with all this other, baggage that comes along with it. When everybody in your family has some type of chronic disease, that is not normal. Chronic disease among, African Americans and just people in general, almost 48% of the U.S. population has a chronic disease, is suffering with some type of chronic disease.
I'm going to tell you something. I got testimony here. I want to interrupt. The thing is that I was a bona fide meat eater. I think Mike, been knowing me forever, and he could testify that, go to a buffet, the first thing I do, I'm in the meat. I'm getting plates of ribs and brisket,
right,
and and all this little stuff here.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you something. I was sluggish. I was always on. My stomach was always toe up.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had a hard time. And I didn't know how much of a hard time I was having
until you changed.
Until I changed, and a lot of things that I didn't like, I began to like, because the thing is that a lot of things that I eat right now, I'm like, man, I would never eat that.
Yeah, because you and them fire roasted plantains or whatever that stuff is you be eating cracks me up. Because that's not what you would have chosen, before you made your lifestyle change, which is, I think amazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't eat that at all, but I was 325.
Right.
Well, I gave up pork, chicken, beef, and gave up the lamb. I didn't eat lamb or any of those other. But my palette of foods has grown tremendously. There's so many different foods out there I never even knew of or heard of.
Right.
Or types
That's
of foods.
what I've been finding.
And so it's not a place of deprivation. I think that's also our mindset. People think if they stop eating meat, not give up. Stop eating. It's just even in your language and how you think about it.
Right.
Well, I had to give up eating meat. So then it becomes a place of deprivation. It becomes a place of lack. It becomes a place of scarcity. And so then our ego wants to hold on. And then those parasites are feeding you even more and be like, no, you ain't got it, So when you think of, I'm going to stop, I'm going to make a cognitive choice. Because right now I know I could eat meat if I wanted to. If I wanted to go get a big juicy steak or, chicken wing or whatever, I could do that. It's my choice.
Yeah.
And so once you relegate it to a choice of going left or going right, then you start to make that cost benefit analysis. What am I gaining and what am I losing? Well, I'm losing, the foggy brain. I'm losing the acid reflux. I'm losing the chronic constipation. I'm losing the joint pain. I'm losing all of that, but I'm also gaining mental clarity. I'm gaining a business plan. I'm gaining the ability for me to be able to do all of these things that I want to and be active in my son's life and be a business owner and be a daughter and be able to do a lot more than I even thought I could. So my gains definitely outweigh the things that I've given up.
Well, I have a friend, I'm going to kick him out of shot right now, Jonathan Stewart. He's been
Jonathan Stewart.
Hi, Jonathan Stewart.
He has switched over. He's I talked to him for about a week now, and he is not eating any meat in a week. And this guy right here has already felt the effects of eating more healthier in a week.
Well, you have definitely been an inspiration to all of us in the way that you have changed your lifestyle, and we're so proud of you. Definitely, I think like if people could just, we should do like a before and after on the website or something. You know what I'm saying? That just shows like the major transformation. And we talked about
how long has it been?
Year. It's been about a year.
Oh, really? You've done this in just about a year? Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's wonderful.
Been about a year. A little more than a year.
A little bit more than a year. It's a little bit more than a year.
A few months more than a year. And,
but, I mean, that's still amazing.
It's been a huge
When you look back,
difference.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long, does it?
No. I mean, when I look back at it, and I'm saying it seemed like I always been this way, almost. You know what I mean? But at the same time, the effects, and I'm gonna make mention of this because neither I or Ebony are talking about, hey, everybody got transformation. We're not talking about that because, when the family come over this holiday, I'll probably be the one to make the turkey and say, everybody have at it. I won't have any because I don't eat turkey, but I mean, I'll let everybody else eat. And Mike could tell you that anytime that we roll out, we're not just going to a vegan spot. I'll go wherever he wants to go, and I'll find something on that menu that I can eat. So it's not like we're saying just because we did this is the best. This was the best way for Percy, the Funkster. It didn't have nothing to do with D-Nice. Don't have nothing to do with anybody else. It just had to do with me. And when I looked at myself in the mirror one morning,
and you said that,
Chef, I looked at myself in the mirror one morning and I said, you know what? I got to change.
Right.
I said, I got to change. It wasn't the doctor telling me, hey, you got to stop this. It wasn't no one else telling me. So, I do definitely, let me put this out there, that I do definitely appreciate you, Chef Ebony, because the thing is that we do have a meat and potato society.
Right.
We do.
We don't have too many options if you want to change from meat and potatoes.
Well, and I think that, one thing is that the power of choice and where you spend your money does make a difference. And because I've been on this path for a couple of years, I can't see the change in the market. Because when I first started, it was a lot harder. And now, Albertsons and Kroger's, the neighborhood grocery stores have these organic lines and have vegan options or vegetarian options, and even a lot of restaurants, they're having these menus where they're specifying that this is, vegetarian friendly or vegan friendly. So once you begin to, and I think this national study was about 3% of the U.S. population considers themselves vegan or vegetarian.
Right.
So
I read that.
So it is growing slowly but surely. But I think even with that, people are just becoming more aware and want to ask more questions. So beyond just me cooking and being a chef, because being a chef is just part of what I do. That's part of pays the bills and part of my passion. I'm also a health coach and health educator. So for me, when I made this transition, because I already had a background in knowing how to study and research and how the body works on a cellular level, it was much easier for me to begin to research new avenues and new ways of doing things.
Right.
And so when I'm working with my clients, I help coach them on what's best for them. And so I do have different models that I use, Ayurvedic and blood type diets and the ketogenic diets, or depending on what your body's actually looking for. And I actually have a hair test I mentioned earlier that really can tell you what it is. Well, Percy, you don't have any hair. I'm going to have to take them eyebrows.
I got plenty of eyebrows.
Well, I'm gonna have to say those eyebrows, but there is this hair test, and it's like a CSI report, and it can really tell you exactly it is what you need to eat. So for one of my clients on the list was that she should avoid eating kale or and collard greens.
Right.
That was for her, and it had mustard on there. So she never liked mustard. Sometimes we can naturally have an aversion for things, because we may have an allergy to or sensitivity to it. So D-Nice, you may have a natural allergy or sensitivity to to these greens.
I just don't like that stuff, girl.
Why you have an aversion to it? For me, I have an aversion towards soy and soy products because I'm sensitive to it.
I just don't like. It's just a preference too for me. It's just things that I don't just really care for. But then there's a whole host of other things that I do actually care for. You talked about the squash, which yellow squash specifically is one of my favorites. But I did want to just make the point about where we spend our money, because Mission Radio Show is a community radio show. Right. We always like to talk about what's happening in our community. We do get some choice about that, but there are places in our communities that experience food desert.
Oh, yes.
About
most definitely.
What is not readily available to
most
us
definitely.
or considered affordable to us. So I do want to mention this. We had a grocery store that opened in Highland Hills. I'm from College Park, Texas, just the creek over from Highland Hills, Texas. Shouts out to Highland Hills. All of College Park stand up. We had a grocery store to open there, right across the street from Paul Quinn College. There's never, ever been a grocery store in the history of that community.
No,
and my family was one of the first.
Easy Shop. My grandmother lived off of
most of the stuff in Easy Shop could be outdated and spoiled. In the history of the community, never been a grocery store. And this past week, a Save a Lot food store opened there. Really exciting, ending the food desert. In that particular area. If you wanted to get groceries, you had to go to Lancaster, or you had to go to Hutchins. But
my grandmother lived right off of Bonneview. I mean, literally right off. So when we go to the grocery store, it would be a trip to go to Albertsons way on the other side.
Absolutely.
Easy Shop was, we absolutely just don't
Avoid
feel like
Easy Shop.
No, you only went in there just because you needed one thing.
And it had to be something small.
It had to be something small.
Because the price is in there, too. And then Minyard stores. Minyards have always been, in my opinion, predators in the community. And no offense to the Minyard family, but, y'all opened the Minyard Sun store, and now it's closed down. The bottom line is you guys have invaded our community with high prices on staple things that people could barely afford for years and years and years, and to this end it has profited you nothing. So just a little word to the wise for the good people over at Save a Lot: don't try it, because we will not buy it.
And shout out to all those businesses that are trying out our communities right now. We're definitely, I was listening to Magic Johnson, and he actually is boosting a whole bunch of businesses within the urban community where we don't have to go outside our community. The reason why that's so important is because sales tax come to those communities and actually benefit those communities. So I appreciate that. But we're at the top of the hour, and
we are.
I really want to thank our chef.
And y'all need to give her a call. Say how they can mention you. All
right. So you can reach me by phone at 682-230-8774. If I don't answer, leave a message. I get a lot of robocall and fake calls, so I need for you to leave a voicemail, so that I know that you are a real person if I'm not able to get to the phone right away. And then my website is chefebonidionne.com. That's EBONIDIONNE. And all my social media is at Chef Eboni Dionne. Trying to keep it simple for you.
There you go.
We sure appreciate it. And I'm going to tell you, next week we have men's talk. We're going to talk about men.
I'm going to be out next week. I ain't coming. Teasy, if you're listening, Funk needs you next week, because I'm not finna fight with them.
We have men in here that we're going to be talking. We're going to be bashing women.
I'm going to have to bring some bad.
Put you out there. You got some bad. We got some men that's coming in here. It's going to be bashing. Y'all seen the advertisement on Facebook? I know you have.
Yeah.
And it's pretty rough. And what we're going to do, we're going to be talking about you know, hey, our
Manhood
women.
type of stuff.
Yeah, what we talk behind the scenes, so the women to know when we
you
get
ain't
together.
Gonna be talking about y'all be grabbing on stuff now.
Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about all that. It's gonna be an R-rated show, so you got kids, don't listen. Hey, but we love y'all. Thank you so much
Yes,
for
and
listening.
We will see you next week right here.
Right
on
here
the
on the Mission Radio Show.
Peace.
Peace.